All right, so welcome to VA lesson. I don't know what number this is, but this training is going to teach you how to book an appointment for your clients or your boss. So for this one, as a VA, your goal is to support your boss or your client however they need you to be. So part of that is booking appointments. So to be an efficient VA, you have to know how to there is no correct way, but I've found efficient ways on how you can schedule appointments. So, for example, your boss is online, um, say on Messenger or Facebook, uh, or any other messenger platforms like WhatsApp or whatever, um, or Skype, for example. You can talk there what the schedule would be like for him or her. So in this case, I have my current VA, Rika Joy. She could book me an appointment for our training. And I scheduled that. I wanted to follow the schedule strictly because I'm currently on a busy week. I have so many things to do, but I wanted to give her time for training as well. So here's what you're gonna do, especially if your client is very busy. You definitely have to note the first name of the person. Why do I do this? So if, for example, if I have a client, I usually note for for whom is that training or for whom is that meeting with. So if, for example, I have a client in real estate and his name is Bob, I'm going to put Bob's name there if the meeting is with Bob, if it's with my client. But if it's Bob's client, for example, Jerry, I'm going to put Jerry's name in here. So this would be, instead of Rika Joy, this would be like Jerry. So it's going to be the name of the client that you are meeting with, or the name of the company that you're with. Why do you do this? So for Jerry Calvis, for example, and real estate meeting, something like that. Or you could say company XYZ uh, consultation, for example, 30-minute consultation. Why do you have to do this? I found it very efficient because noting the name of the company or the person that you are meeting gives you the sense of urgency and importance right away. So, because this is how it looks. Okay, I'm just gonna save this, right? So part of this, before we go back to the monthly view, I'm going to give you an overview how this goes. So you put the date and time and time zone. This is for the time zone of, you can put different or separate time zones. You can use Philippine Standard Time or some other time zones that you do. This is for international teams, but for the purpose of this training, I'm booking a training with my assistant Rika Joy, so I don't need the time zone option. You can check all day. If it's all day, what's gonna happen here is this. Okay, I'm just gonna show you the. Wait, I think I'm on a tab. Anyway, okay, so if you're gonna do all day, I'm gonna show you later on how that looks on a monthly view. Because if you do have a time, if you have a time-based meeting, then it's just gonna appear. There's going to be on the calendar. There's just going to be a dot instead of a colored tab for the label of this meeting. So I'm going to show you how it looks there. But for the purpose of this meeting, our training is 10 p.m. to 10:40 p.m. So we want to follow this strict time frame because we are both busy this coming weeks. And then what else? So I don't have a location because it's online. Conferencing would be, I guess, no, it wouldn't be in Hangouts because we usually just use Messenger and Facebook. So here you can put notifications. The best notifications I've found are this. So you can have notifications of 30 minutes, 1 hour. I find that this is more forgiving because as an entrepreneur or as a client, I am very particular with not forgetting my meetings. And as a high level VA, a virtual assistant, your goal is to not make a mistake, or at least make little mistakes as possible, because meetings are where the ROI, or return of investment, um, of your client. So they're banking, they're relying on the meetings to close maybe a deal, or to do a session with someone, or maybe hold a workshop, or whatever that is. Usually meetings do have ROI. So what you have to be very careful as a VA to put notifications on here. I find that what works for me is 1 hour, 3 hours. There's gonna be like, right, okay. There's gonna be like 3 hours. There's gonna be like 6 hours. And then there's gonna be like 12 hours. Yeah, you know the drill. So that if the notifications basically depend on what kind of importance this is. If you have to know your client actually. If your client's personality is a bit neurotic, and they're really worried that they are usually forgetful, a lot of notifications come into play, and it's much better to have more notifications than none, right? Or lesser to none, because if they forget the meeting, they're gonna feel bad for themselves. So you can set this to 12 hours, or you can do a day. So if you wanna make it relaxed, you can do 10 minutes before. Usually, I find that it's better to be 30 minutes before the meeting. I don't, as a client, I don't find it useful to have a 10 minutes before the exact meeting, because I'm already probably there. So 30 minutes would be while you're on the way, you will the client would get a notification. 1 hour would be good, and then 3 hours would be good. One day would be good. Maybe 2 days would be also good. 2 days, all right? So you can make this 1 hour, and then this one would be 6 hours. 6 hours or 12 hours before would be fine. So now that we have the notification set, this is up to you, but I do recommend, if you are still struggling to find the right notification time frame, I would do recommend that you set the 30 minutes, you set the 1 hour, the 6 hour, and a day before. This could also be 7 days. So it's the most imperative there would be 30 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, and a day before. Just if that is very important, if the meeting is going to be a bit relaxed, it's not too much of a high priority, then you can put 30 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 12 hours to 7 days, right? Like that. So for the guest part, I put Rika in here. I wanted to keep her tabs on the meeting. I wanted to let her know that I'm going to have a meeting with her. This is best if your client or your teammate has a Gmail account. It's much better and easier. So this one that I'm using is Google Calendars, and this one is if you mark it busy or free, so that it will not be booked anymore. If you have a meeting from this time to this time, then it's not going to be booked anymore on any other calendars, because my calendar is actually connected to Calendly, which is an appointment booking system. And then, so for this one, as a VA, your job is to know how's the flow going to be. So, for example, you want to give the best treatment to your client. How you can exceed among all our other VAs is for you to really narrow down. Like, you can ask your client what the meeting is about. How does your client want the meeting to go, or has your client and his client have talked about how the flow will go? That's how you're going beyond the normal VA task of just asking um, what the meeting is. That we're going beyond the superficial way of booking a meeting, because your job is to really support your client. It's not just to book meetings. You're here to help your client take off as much time as possible, so he or she can concentrate with his or her business. So for this one, I have already given Rika Joy of the how the flow will go. So for now, I've done the work, but this is how the flow will go. So it's 20. I put 22 because I use the military time here, because I find that sometimes people, especially in European nations, tend to overlook if your client is in Europe or somewhere else, they're using military um, time format. But I find that I put the 22 to 20, 22 hour as 10 o'clock p.m., just so that you know that it's not morning right away. I already know that it's morning right away, because anyway, I already have the 10 p.m. to 10:40 here. So when you are putting details, like, I would call this the, I guess, the event flow, the schedule. So put the agenda, and on the left side of that would be the time frame. Like if you're a client's ideal time frame on the introduction of the pitching, or for example, what's that, you can put this, we can replace this as, for example, he's meeting his client at, say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that would be 14 o'clock. 14 o'clock to 15 o'clock would be, say, introduction, pitching, like that. And then say 15 o'clock to 15:30, which is 3:30, would be getting to know, or like, well, that's introduction already, or maybe this could be the closing or objection, no, questions, Q&A, maybe like that, something like that. Q&A, closing. That could be like, just so your client has an idea of what it is, as how his meeting will go, because you're not working as a VA just because to plot, not just to plot in calendars, not just to you're not a robot here or anywhere else. You are someone who is contributing value, and that's how you can get fulfillment from your work. If you know that you're giving your best, your value, you are finding meaning in your work, then you won't feel lazy being a VA, because there are different pros and cons to different careers, but being a VA is one of the most fulfilling parts when you're starting out, because you can really see how your client's transformation will be because of your assistance, because of your ability to be quick and keep booking meetings, like supporting, being the right hand of this person, this business. That's gonna make you the most valuable VA that they've ever had. So that's your goal, to just support them in any way, and while being your best self, while you giving your best abilities. And that's how you can practice, keeping on practice. If you make a mistake on any of the notifications, for example, you forget that, you haven't put in the schedule, that's fine. I would suggest to always keep communicating with your client, so you know how to support him, how to support her, how to support his or her business. So that's it for today's training. I hope you liked how it is. And for feedback, you can send me an email. I'll give you the email details. It could be iris@irisbuencansejo.com. So, or you can chat me on Messenger if you ever have questions. So that's it. Oh, wait, I forgot. Before I go, right, we're going to save this now. Would you like, so after doing because I forgot how I was going to show you for the monthly view. So for this one, it asked me to, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? And I wanted to notify Rika, right? I wanted to notify my assistant. So I'm going to say send. Okay, hit send. Okay, so that's saving already. See how I have other appointments. All right, so we want to we're going to the monthly view. Go to the monthly view. All right, so if you can see, there is, okay, so now if you can see, because Rika has also connected me to her calendar. So this is what Rika's appointment, how it will look like. All right, so for this one, this one is, remember what I was talking earlier about labels, how the labels will appear if it's an all day event or it's a time based event. So if you have time, like this one, 10 to 10:40, then it's only going to show as a dot. Whereas for this one, it's going to be a whole day. There is no, if you can see, there's just set of days, or there is just a day. For example, the Day of Valor, in Philippines is a holiday, and I have other calendars to reflect holidays. Like I have holidays for United States. I sometimes turn this on, and then holidays in Australia would be turned on. I turned that off because I don't have a client right now anyway in Australia. So I'm just gonna follow US and Philippines for now. If your client, or typically that would be an entrepreneur, he's following marketing dates or retail marketing dates, or just holidays. So we can check this off, and check that on again. So for all day, as you can see with this one, Day of Valor is just April 9. There is no set time. Whereas with this one, there's a 10 to 10:40, and you can see how the training looks. So there are notifications of 30 minutes before, an hour, 6 hours before, 1 day, 2 days before, just so I don't forget. So for the first time, I'm going to do the booking for this first training with Rika, but I'm training her on how it will be in the future. So instead of me doing that, she's going to be doing that, so it will save me more time and I can focus on the bigger things in my business. So that's it for today. And yes, if you have any questions, email me or chat me up on Facebook. That's it for today.